been one of those teams that built themselves from the ground up. Starting last season and season 3 in the Mythic League, they were an underdog team who had a lot of challenges against these different teams that were such a higher rank than them. Coming into the Helios League, they are more in their level. And it has honestly been to their benefit because they have been overperforming, in my opinion, as a Helios team. Their biggest weakness might be how much they bite without knowing how much they can chew. I feel like they have a lot of goals that they want to reach, but their strategies for reaching said goals can make them fall short just a little bit.
All right, folks, I hope you're strapped in for this one because we are going into Game 5 of Restless Lake Syndrome versus Coin Flip Gaming. It is about to be a super hype one. I know that I've been hyping it up a lot for these last couple of games. I'm aware of that. However, each one has just been more exciting than the last. Once again, I am your friendly neighborhood Shotcaster Shargan, and we've got the ever pleasant and brightly lit Sunshine joining me on the caster's desk.
Woo! Yeah, it's that last game was a banger. I'm excited to see what kind of draft changes we get going into this one. There was a substitution. BBZ Red will be picking up the mid lane for RLS this game, and Pengu Soul is going to be down in the support position. Demon Girl said she was experiencing lag, so we're going to just switch some players over to maximize competitive integrity. Excuse me.
Yep.
So, quick.
And who knows? That could have made a big impact on the last game because, latency problems are always kind of a thing that you have to deal with during your game. So sometimes it can cause some issues. This switch around could be really interesting. And let's hop right into this. We have 2 picks. One of them is able to be flexed top or bottom, relatively speaking. So we'll have to see how that ends up going.
Yeah, Volibear is really a flex jungle top for RLS. They've both played him a few times this season.
Mm-hmm.
But Sedge Leona looking like going to be falling back to what won him the last game.
Yep. Standard kind of pickup on the side of Coin Flip Gaming where they've played this Sejuani Leona combo. They like it a lot. It works out really well for them most of the time. We haven't seen Anti's Volibear top this series. We might be seeing it here shortly, especially with that Trundle pickup. Though you could theoretically flex Trundle around in a couple of different directions, though support being one of them, except with the Braum there means he's not going to end up in the bot lane.
Yeah, so it looks like we're actually probably going to get a Trundle jungle Volibear top. Ooh, Vayne for the triple tanks. I like it.
Yep, Vayne as the answer to the triple tank. It's a good choice right there. So which ADC ends up getting picked up is going to make a huge impact coming up here. I do like the Trundle in the jungle being able to roam around. You are a great counter to the Sejuani, being able to chomp away all of that extra armor and resistances and just get yourself some nice meaty bites out of that boar. So that'll be something that we should be looking forward to. We have a Rise and a Kassadin ban, it looks like, right off the bat. So we haven't seen a Kassadin pulled out by Route yet, so I'm not entirely certain as to why that ban is coming out. Probably would have won.
He's been banned every game.
Oh, yeah, he has
been
banned every game.
It because it's been banned every game.
Gotcha. I must be glossing over it, and I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, there we go. We do have the Helios ban on the side of Coin Flip, which is kind of interesting because Coin Flip pull it out. The Shen as well. So choosing to ban out Red's Rise, though, great decision.
Yeah, Rise is such a good champion at taking over games that I think a quick ban on it is easier than having to draft around it in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be kind of interesting to see exactly how things end up playing out throughout the rest of this game. I'm just kind of wondering what exactly we're going to be seeing here. I would kind of want to see something like the Lissandra. That might be interesting here. Just keep going with that Freljordian kind of thematic on the side of Restless Lake Syndrome would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Garen again for CFG's top laner.
Yeah, so picking up that Garen, you've got the nice silence that'll be available to you, so you're able to you just kind of spin to win as well. Good amount of tank. With the Jinx being picked up, that's kind of a late game scaler. It is really strong as it gets towards the end of the game, so that'll be really
Jinx is so good at dealing with low range compositions, and there's like Vayne is super low range. for an AD carry, and then 3 melee champions, right?
Great kiting ability. So we're going to have the Syndra picked up for BBZ Red. We have seen him play that a number of times. Unleashing the power of that champ is something he really enjoys doing. So to see what exactly Route is going to respond with is going to be kind of interesting. We might see him pick up the Corki again, who is doing some great work with it last time. And that champion, though, going into a Syndra is going to probably have some issues that they would have to deal with. Fizz, though.
This is great, crazy pick here.
Okay, again,
and that's locked in. Yeah,
it's a locked in. So we're gonna have the Fizz coming out right here. However, that is going to be another short range champ. He does have a dash in. He does have the invulnerability, so that will mean that Jinx is gonna have a little bit more of a tricky time hitting him. However, they're still just gonna be able to outrange pretty well, and then not to mention the fact just kiting the rest of the team. I really feel like Escape is going to be doing a lot of fancy footwork, so that's going to be really, and they've got the Braum to protect them as well. So regardless, the front line on RLS is absolutely massive, so it's going to take a couple of items for Vayne to be able to start bringing it down.
I think these team fights are going to be so long.
They do have the potential to be some very long team fights, that is for sure. So I think we're going to have to hop onto the ribbon and actually see how this is going to play out. Like I said, I'm really excited to see this last game. This is game number 5, so this is going to be hype. Both of these teams know everything is on the line. They are fighting to get into these quarterfinals, and it's going to be really interesting to see who ends up moving on.
Yeah, we're going into it. Quick summation of these early game builds is that we do have the double sustain coming out in the mid lane. BBZ Red did pick up the Summon Airy, so he wants to bully his laner. And then in the bottom lane, we do see a cleanse coming through, which means that Leona won't be able to play quite as aggressively, and it'll cleanse and Sejuani ultimate later into the game.
Exactly. You got so much CC on the side of Coin Flip Gaming that RLS is basically like, okay, we're just going to take the cleanse tax. Well, that's going to be what we need to survive these games. I do like the Braum taking exhaust as well. Obviously, you're trying to go for a more defensive bot lane. You're trying to just keep the Jinx alive until they get to that late game scaling comp. And they're able to just absolutely decimate the towers, which is going to be really interesting. So I'm just, either way, I think this is going to be really exciting. Not a lot of craziness going to be happening though early on.
Yeah, these compositions are definitely built more around scaling, but I do expect to see a lot of action in the top lane. Volibear isn't that amazing late game, so I think that you have to get him a lead. So I do expect the war leader to play more around that lane this game.
I expect Volibear to be more of a utility tank champ in this game rather than a large damage choice, because you're going to have Syndra and Jinx kind of picking up that. What Volibear will definitely be doing is shutting down these towers, allowing for this to facilitate for these massive tower dives, and I think that's when things are going to get really, really exciting.
I think you have to keep in mind though that this Volibear went he's the split push rune set.
Mm-hmm. He does have.
So he's gonna be in the side lane a lot this game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little trade back from BBZ Red, damaging Route. Route does want to get this Syndra a little bit lower, so this potential level 3 all-in can kill. If that isn't looking viable, he might just try to farm to 6. TP does suggest that he probably won't go for a level 3 all-in, and it's going to play to scale more into this lane and maybe be a side lane threat, or he might just try to dive this Jinx over and over and over.
It could be just diving is all they want to do. In the meantime, Escape is going to be pushing this wave up. Probably going to be seeing Sadis looking for a freeze here. I do like what BBZ set up right here. Nice stun coming out as he is able to get that Fizz. Doesn't have the jump up. So without that vault, Fizz is very, very vulnerable.
Yeah, he's...
Nice amount of damage coming out from Volibear right there.
Yeah, Volley hurts so bad in extended trades. And as far as extended trades go, he didn't even let the Conqueror pop for You Belong in a Museum. That was just a quick PTA proc, and then he got out of there. The bottom lane too far under the turret for for CFG makes it so that Shadow Buddy's gank really gets her nothing, and now the whole team knows exactly where she is.
Route has already been chunked down to half health, getting caught on the edges of these ball tosses. So just like that, they're able to get a nice bit of damage off and get themselves a nice amount of pressure. Anti having to tank a tower shot to catch the shield.
Shadow Bunny re-ganking
wanted to do it. Ooh, we got the flash coming out. The Braum shield, though, is going to block the Zenith Blade from going any further, but they're going to get caught out, and that's going to be them going down. So that's going to be Pangusul giving up first blood.
Yeah, Anti actually completely equalized the health situation in top lane on accident there. He was hard smashing this lane. And now it's
smashing it, but at the
pretty
same
close.
time, look at that. He's getting it very close once again. Oh my goodness.
Auto W kills here.
Auto W will kill. We have a nice bit of an engage coming out right there. How we're going to have Trundle go ahead and try and finish this off. We have Anti taking
he's
all
not
of
gonna
that
live,
damage.
minions!
The minions are going to get him so close.
Oh, I can't believe he lived. That was so close.
He had 15 health.
Minions do 17 damage in auto attack. That was literally a single minion auto away from his death.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Okay, so with that earlier bot lane game, I do want to talk about that. That was, again, a 3-man gank into this bot lane.
What is happening mid?
I
This is
think that
rough.
it's a situation. Woo! Good vault to avoid that damage. Red is showing why they are such a threat to be feared. You kind of got to wonder why it took so long for them to come out into the mid lane this game. Could be that they're like, we got this, we'll be fine. But unfortunately, like, okay, we got to bring a ringer in.
Yeah, it looked like the anchor position for the team, not the mid lane. He's the anchor, you know, like he comes in at the last second to change the game.
Ooh, we got Shadow Bunny. They've been sussed out. They're taking damage from the dragon in addition to getting caught by that the pillar. So they're Sade is barely dodging out of the goat head.
My brain is so broken that you said sus and like I couldn't think about anything else. I don't have to use the words. We all know. I was like, what? Amogus?
Yes, exactly. We all know exactly what I was getting at. That is going to allow for RLS to pick up this first Drake, though, because they've pressured off CFG, so they're going to be able to pick up a Mountain Drake, which is going to be huge for them come 20 minutes when that dragon really starts to affect their stats.
Yeah, I think a Mountain Drake is actually pretty nice for this composition. It's that's a lot of damage.
Look at that. That QW, however, we got the spin to win coming out, and Anti is getting really, really low. They are able to do so much damage, though, with those empowered auto attacks.
Yeah, Anti also definitely has Last Stand, and he was just low enough to proc the Last Stand to get bonus healing from his
look
W.
At this Red getting
Big Shark!
Route getting some revenge hits right here. That's going to be the flash coming out, the stun coming out as well. That did look like an unleashed power, but it wasn't able to get the full amount of damage off. Unfortunately, Red is going to get caught out, stunned underneath their turret. That is going to be the Scatter of the Week coming out. We got Route diving underneath. He's going to get hit by the tower shot, though, and he's going to take it out. That's a 1-for-1.
He really thought he was going to live.
He did. He unfortunately, Sejuani didn't stay in tower range long enough to tank one more tower shot, and he would have been fine.
I'm actually kind of impressed that despite how much health he was losing in the mid lane, he's only down 8 CS. That's not bad.
No, that is actually really, really well done. And with that kill, that is going to be a nice bit of bump for both of them. We do have the tier getting picked up by Syndra, so that means that they only have the Sorcerer's Boots as their source of damage, just trying to get past the defenses on the Fizz. But with that pickup, kind of interesting that they decided to go for that tier, in all honesty, against the last chapter.
Sorkies are like a pretty huge damage increase for Syndra, because Pen works really weird with her ultimate. It negates 15. It essentially gives her 15 more damage every time a ball hits on her ult. So it can be up to like 65 bonus damage just for the purchase. It's
That's
like
true.
Almost an electrocute at this phase of the game worth of bonus damage on just the ultimate.
Yeah, which is a huge amount of increase, and then it's like early on, I feel like resistances are definitely something you need to shred through. Look at that, we got the stun coming out. That was a very well placed ultimate. Not a lot of places for Red to go. They're gonna get caught by the shark as well. They're gonna get bounced up. There's not a lot for them to do, as they're just kind of caught out in the mid lane. Not a lot of mobility on a Syndra without a flash.
Yeah, I think that Shadow Bunny has shown that she's really good at punishing spent summoner spells throughout the series. Really consistent about it. Even when she isn't the one taking the summoner, she really likes to gank the lanes that don't have escapes, which good for her. That's what you're supposed to do.
Look at the damage. I wasn't expecting that to actually deal so much right there. We do have You Belong in a Museum taking out Anti nearly under tower with the Judgment.
Anti looking super cocky, still being there with that much HP against Garen. I think
just a little bit.
Finally,
right
he's punished for his position.
Shadow Bunny took the damage, so their shield's going to go down.
Dust looks okay. Escape.
Dust tanking all of the tower shots right there. They're going to get stunned, but not enough damage is going to be coming out on the side of RLS to take him down. That is going to be Sejuani getting stunned under tower, though, and they're going to be ripped to shreds. So Anti's TP and You Belong to Museum's TP are both burned to come down to this bottom lane fight. It is going to allow Trundle to pick up the Rift Herald and BBC Red to get a lot of damage onto this mid lane turret. Regardless, though, that is a huge amount of pressure that CFG have put onto RLS.
Yeah, I think that You Belong in a Museum's teleport was pretty wasted there. He could have generated a lot of a gold lead for himself in the top lane because this minion wave is pushing away from Anti. It could be really hard for Anti to recover from this kind of situation. But You Belong in a Museum does TP, so he is going to lose out on actually a lot of minions as this wave crashes. So gotta see how they continue to generate the gold lead that they've got. It's about 1,000, or it's about 700 right now. So are we gonna see more play around this mid lane Fizz, or are we gonna try to unlock him onto the map so that he can just roam wherever he wants to?
I think that that's really what CFG have got to do. They've got to let Fizz get out of this lane, but Syndra's just going to keep on pressuring it. Especially with this Windrake coming up here next, probably means we're going to be seeing a Mountain Soul Ocean Soul coming out here, which would be absolutely huge for both teams.
Yeah, Ocean Soul is, I mean, it's not probably, it's a 50% chance that it could be an Ocean. It could also be Infernal, which would also be really nice. Mm-hmm. And you have 2 damage threats. There are a lot of damage dealers,
so it actually could be Infernal, you're right.
Yeah, so when you do have only 2 damage dealers per comp, Infernal actually has increased value because it gives them better shred onto these tanks. That's a top lane kill.
That is a top lane turret going down. That's going to be freeing up Anti right here. So that is going to allow them a nice bit of pressure because they're able to free the bear from the top. Look at that. The missed root, though, or the ultimate comes out. It does manage to find Escape, just barely clipping onto him. Look at this, though. In the top lane, we've got a fight going on as well. We have the ultimate coming out from Bully Bears. The Stormcaller just brings down the bear, and he's going to be able to probably pick up another turret. Oh, no, it's just barely dealing any damage to it right now, but it should be going away here shortly.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Just took it a second. That was massive. In the meantime, we had a fight down in the bot lane, which resulted in the priority going over to CFG. They're going to jump onto Trundle right here, who's trying to disrupt this Dragon Call. He's going to get stunned by the damage, but he's going to chomp onto the Shadow Bunny, taking himself a nice bit of boar meat, and that's going to be a huge fight for RLS, turned in their favor as they're able to pick up the Drake, pick up the kills, and that's going to be this mid lane turret that's going to get pressured even more, and we could be seeing another turret fall here momentarily.
Instantly, it's a 3,000 gold lead. Just immediately. That was really rough. Yeah, that's a huge play for RLS. Getting 2 turrets and a kill top lane is awesome. Getting 3 kills bot lane and a dragon is also awesome.
Not to mention picking up another 2 plates.
Yeah, the only one who didn't die in that whole exchange for CFG was Rout's Fizz, which makes me wonder if maybe he should have been there for his team. He's fed enough that he can zone a lot of RLS. So
he really, look at this. You Belong in a Museum trying to contest some of the Krugs right there. Not quite able to do it, and so he just steals one. I do like the cheeky emote spam, though.
Yeah, you got to give it to him, you know. You can't just... I don't love that Anti is still top lane. I don't know what he's doing up here.
I feel like he's kind of got pretty good security up there. Like, basically, they have to send enough people to deal with him. Good stun coming out from BBC Red as he managed to hit on the Sadist. That is going to be 3 members of CFG who are present down in this bot lane. In the meantime, top lane, you've got Bully Bear just continuing to pressure this Garen under that tower. The rest of CFG moving in on the mid lane, though, trying to focus in on the Shadow Bunny, jumping in onto the Pengu Soul. That is going to be a good
really
use of
nice
the stand behind me. Yeah,
really nice stand behind me. It's super good there.
Very, very good. And so with that, basically kind of negates any sort of gank that could have come out. So we'll have to see exactly how they use this to their advantage, because CFG have to kind of deal with this Bully Bear in the top lane.
I think the Volley Bear needs to be bottom lane here. If you do 4-1 and you put Volley bottom, they have to send 2 to 3 people to deal with them.
He's running through the jungle, dodges the jump, and that's going to be stepping far enough away from the wall. He doesn't get hit by the
Oh,
contest.
he ults.
He's going to ult away to try and survive. We got the Glacial Fissure coming out from Braum as he's able to disrupt them just enough. Fizz, however, jumping on the back line, picking up that shutdown gold.
Oh, he's
we
dead.
have the rest of RLS jumping onto CFG, trying to finish this off. War Leader going in on this boar, beating him down with that club, picking up another kill as BBZ Red picks up Dust, and that is going to be Fizz being the only survivor once again, and the RLS come out on top, increasing their gold lead to 5K as it is now 26-21.
Dude, Red and War Leader went crazy in that fight. When everybody was focusing on their other damage dealer in Escape and on Anti's Volibear, the other two just got to go ham on the backline there. If you just quick Trundle ult a Sejuani, once her passive goes away, she actually has negative resistances and takes bonus damage. So she explodes immediately as soon as her passive's up there, which makes it so that there's not that much dive threat left. Then Red can just deal all the damage in the world to that front line.
You know, it really feels like this game that Red is the bread and Anti's the butter. So, like, anytime those two are in a fight, it's going to be absolutely disgusting. So it's going to be really huge. This lead that they built for themselves is just going to continue to snowball. CFG have got to do something to stem the bleeding.
Yeah, you have to. At this point, one more fight like that's probably a done game. The gold lead is only going to grow. It's 5K at 15 minutes. It's looking like a battle.
Mm-hmm. And we do have the Ocean Soul coming out, so my first guesstimate was correct.
Nice.
With that, we're going to have a nice bit of healing coming out onto both of these teams. Both of them want to extend these trades and want to extend these fights, so that is going to be massive for them if they manage to pick it up. I think the 4 Ocean Drakes on the side of CFG is actually probably one of the more terrifying things to see this game.
I think 4 Ocean Drakes for RLS is even worse. Vayne dealing true damage to cut through you doesn't matter if you're healing all of her damage away.
That's very true. We are going to see this bot lane now get threatened, and that's going to be Pengu Soul coming down to try and help. We do have Anti jumping on top of You Belong in a Museum. The ultimate is ready. It's able to shut down the turret. The turret gets silenced right there. We have the Glacial Fissure coming out, knocking Status up in the air, and that's going to be a huge amount of damage dropping onto Anti, though. He's still taking all of those shots. The Silver Bolts are going to finish him off, so that's going to be Status picking up a kill. In the meantime, Dust
on the back line,
getting absolutely ripped to shreds, and the War Leader is on the top, trying to take out You Belong in a Museum. We do see that unstoppable War Leader is able to take him out. Red is going to take down Route. That is going to be Sejuani taken down as well. Sade is trying to help his teammate, but he's going to just end up walking right into a Jinx Bomb as the Super Mega Death Rocket finds its target, and that is going to be RLS picking up those kills.
Yeah, this fight was crazy. Came about in 2 really big different places. It does start under the bottom lane turret, but then about halfway through it cuts into 2 halves. Up towards the upper turret, we have a Vayne battling 2 tanks who are just running at her. And then in the bottom half, you have the Braum and the Syndra and the Jinx battling it out for their lives against a few tanks down there as well. The whole fight comes together in this really chaotic fashion where the Shark from Route almost kills 2 people and the Sejuani ult almost stuns Red, but neither of those things quite happen. So the fight just comes out as this giant scramble where eventually everyone goes down for CFG.
Exactly. That ace is so big for RLS. With that, they're able to just take control of this map. The Ocean Drake is up, so they're going to swing by that, pick it up for themselves, and then basically the whole map is kind of theirs for the taking.
Yeah, it's definitely very one-sided, this game. RLS is just cleaning it up, right? Yeah. There's only so many more objectives they can take before the game is just pretty truly unwinnable. I think right now, what you have to do is you have to kill Escape. Because even though Red deals a lot of damage, he is gated by cooldowns and mana. But Escape just gets to wail on your front line, and that damage extends to your carries because of the AoE from Jinx.
Yeah, they aren't going to be taking this Rift Herald, so that's going to be still at the map here very clearly RLS is like, okay, that last game was just a fluke. We didn't mean for that to happen. It just kind of did. So now we're going to actually show you what we're made of. We are going to see some pressuring around it now. Anti going for this Rift Scuttlecrab. He is fighting against the Spite, though, so that means that is a battle he will lose. That is going to be a nice control ward they pick up. Meanwhile, BBZ Red looking for some extra anything that he can find in the bot side jungle. And Fizz is again pushing a side lane instead of joining his team for these team fights.
I think pushing the side lane there is good. There's no team fight that's going to happen here and now. He can force somebody to go collect the gold, and there is no objective that's really pressing at all. Rift Herald isn't really worth that much after the plates go down. And Shadow Bunny just sacks a lot of HP for... Actually, it's not that much HP because she's at 20, but...
No, they do lose their resistances, so it's going to take a couple of seconds for them to come back online. We got the Glacier coming out right here. Here's the team fight that I was mentioning that was going to come out. We got Dust getting taken down really, really low. They're going to be beaten down. The Shark Chomp is not able to find a target. RLS Escape is going on a rampage as Jinx is just going and crazy, getting excited.
Oh!
It's going to be the double kill coming out as we see... Brundle saving the Jinx from getting beaten up by the little fishy, and that is going to be Garen, the only one left alive, and that is RLS basically saying, hey, this game, it's over.
Yeah, that was the most RLS fight I've ever seen in my life. That fight just randomly happened for no reason. And
you said that there wasn't going to be a team fight.
It really shouldn't have been a team fight. There was nothing to fight for, but we fought, and now a turret's dead. So I think what you expect to see now is War Leader is just smacking away at a Rift Herald, so they're going to pick up the Herald. That's probably going to go mid with a Baron buff here in just a minute and just be totally unstoppable. Yeah, War Leader is so fed. War Leader is
definitely fed. Now here's the thing, though. Vayne could still theoretically come online. That could still be a problem for them if this game progresses too long. RLS is trying to end this as quickly as they can because Vayne is only an item and a half up right now.
Oh, you mean Jinx is only an item and a half up?
No, sorry. I mean, they've only built an item and a half.
Yeah, so Vayne could cut through this front line, but I think the bigger issue with Vayne cutting through this front line is that...
just misses. Isn't quite able to find its target.
I think a Syndra can cut through a Vayne faster than a Vayne can kill this Bully Bear.
Possibly. Look at that. The cleanse coming out to stay alive. They do manage to actually pick up the Guardian proc from the extra damage as well. Escape doing what they do best, being a slippery little devil. Sticking to the side where they know Sejuani is not in order to try and continue this push as best they can. Very well done on the side of RLS.
Interesting rotate to the bottom lane. It makes me wonder if they want to drop Herald mid or to bot. But it looks like that's not what they're doing. They're just walking through the enemy team's jungle and farming the camps, which is...
I think that they were planning on eventually going for the Garen because he had separated himself out, but Garen's just going to go ahead and back off.
Yeah, it's looking like a... I don't know. I'm a little confused by that play. Shadow Bunny does show mid lane. Ooh, Dust almost goes in, but gets canceled by the Scatter the Weak.
Gonna get knocked back because that's the thing. You're still able to take CC as Leona when you're going through your Zenith Blade. There's very few things that will stop her from diving in onto your target. Scatter of the Weak is one of those few abilities, though.
Yeah, it's quick push. It's like a fake knockup, so it does stop dashes.
It's no Vex, but at the same time, it's just as good. This Herald's going to get dropped in the bot lane. They're going to get this tower down as low as they possibly can. Won't quite be able to kill it, but that is going to mean that BBC Red's going to get
really
caught. That's going to be Glacial Fissure coming out as well. However, we have the rest of RLS coming out. Syndra, though, unleashes their power, shows what a deadly force they are. They're going to get taken out by Sadist, though, as he comes in on the backline. He rolls into the enemy team, not realizing just how dangerous it was. Unfortunately, he's going to get caught out by Sadist. He's going to get knocked back. Look at the damage Bully Bear is putting out onto this, but we got Shadow Bunny being able to block a lot of it. That is going to be the flush onto the Anti, as Anti manages to pick up yet another kill. We have poor Shadow Bunny getting ripped to shreds by the troll, and there is going to be the troll chasing down Garen. Pillars coming up being like, come back here. I'm hungry. I need to take a bite.
He ate him. That was so violent.
War Leader took a bite out of crime. That is the Garen, and that is gonna be Soul going over. It is. They're gonna get it before Fizz is able to get there. Fizz is gonna come running by, and he's gonna be like, "Oh crap! I wasn't quite able to make it."
Yeah, that's game. You know, I mean, we can talk as nice as we want, but I don't see a way that this game is savable anymore. Really well played though, and like Route tried to one-shot Red, but the gold lead is just such that he didn't quite have the damage, and they just had enough peel that he didn't get a kill off his Fizz, which you have to get a one-shot and then stall their backline with like Playful Trickster, but he couldn't do that. So because he couldn't do that, it's basically 4v5 with a 9k gold lead.
Yep.
10k gold lead, actually, as it would
As of now, it is a 10k gold lead. Right there, we got Panko still kind of stepping over a little bit, but they are going to be able to do a decent amount. Nice stun's going to be coming out. That's going to be a double kill picked up by Jinx, able to hit a nice bit of damage over there. Fizz trying to jump in on the backline, not quite able to do it. He's going to get taken out as well, as there's just too much CC. In addition, on the side of RLS, is they're able to get it. Anti is trying to chase down the boar, and he's trying to show the Winter's Claw why Freljord does only honor the strong, and why only the strong survive and the weak will die. Shadow Bunny getting ripped to shred by this bear. The flash comes out. They're trying to get out of there, but we just have Anti.
This is the saddest thing.
Slowly chasing it down. Oh my goodness, there it is. Oh, the stun and the flash over the wall on the underbelly as they go up in the air, and that is going to be Anti picking up the kill. Baron, in the meantime, taken down, and that goes over to RLS.
Yeah, it does. I think so does the game. RLS picks up a Baron buff, and they get a bottom turret, I think. I think the bottom turret died to that minion wave. So now we just gotta wait to see where exactly they choose to push. I think they could just 5-man push mid lane and win. I don't think there's a fight that could happen that they could feasibly lose. So looks like it is looking like a 5-man push mid lane.
This is a 5-man push, 4-man push in the mid lane. Trundle's taking his time getting up there. Once he does, that'll be the full 5-man siege that's going to come out right here. This mid lane turret stands no chance. The Scatter the Weak dealing so much damage and a huge stun on that Sejuani despite the armor.
Yeah, that was through her passive. Was it also through Aftershock or just her passive? Because it was through both.
Just through the passive.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right there. That's without the passive. That's a lot of damage. Can't be slowed though. So what's still up? We got the shield coming out. Stand behind me as we have it. Diving in, getting this started. However, that's a nice bit of slowdown coming out from CFG. They're trying to make it so Anti keeps taking these tower shots. He's just hanging out under turret though, because he's like, I'm fine. I got this. You guys can get the kills. While we finish this off, Sadis is going to get shot by the Zap Cannon, and that is going to be the Quadra kills going over to Jinx, as unfortunately somebody stole the Penta.
It was actually Pengu Soul's Braum that took the Penta, which you can report your support for that one, I think.
Report the support, and that is going to be game number 3, the win going over to RLS. That right there is going to be them moving on to the semifinals as they move on into the Helios League. And that is going to be it. What a game.
What a game. What a smash. That was rough. You're sad if you're a CFG fan, I think.
If you're CFG, you know your team put up one hell of a fight in that last game.
Yeah.
And that they were absolutely trying to crush it, doing as much as they could.
They did a lot. They did a lot. And
they did.
The 2 games they won were pretty convincing, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's just
it's off
pretty high Jinx damage. I think that the series was pretty close and fun. I think you can walk away proud of CFG. They kept up with a much higher seed than themselves, and I don't think anybody expected as much of a performance out of them as they actually managed.
Well,
so
for a
good
team,
shit to them.
For a team that had such a massive roster change, basically at the end of the season, to be able to put up this much of a fight is really, really impressive, and something that I think is absolutely phenomenal, something really exciting to see going forward, like what we'll potentially see out of this team in the future. I'm excited to see all that, but in the meantime, we do have RLS moving on to the semifinals. It's going to be really interesting to see which team ends up picking, which one Terracotta ends up choosing to face against, because they're going to get first pick between RLS and whoever wins the INT PTP game tomorrow, which is going to be another thing to watch out for. I don't know if we're going to be having a winner's interview coming up here in just a second. Yeah, so we will be having a winner's interview here in just a moment. I've really got very little to say about the rest of this game. I think it was an absolutely fantastic series. I think CF Coinflip Gaming, fantastic job putting up one hell of a fight. RLS, great responses. Sunrise, you got anything you want to say before we close it?
Yeah, I think RLS didn't get 1-2 punched. They took that first punch and retaliated, and then I think it maybe made RLS a little bit angry. They like Super Saiyan come back into that last game. But I think it was a fun, good series from both teams. I'm excited to see RLS move forward into the playoffs.
It's going to be exciting to see exactly how high they climb. The former underdogs of the Mythic League have claimed a top spot here in the Helios League, and so it's going to be really exciting to see things going forward. We're going to take a quick break, folks. We'll be right back. Don't forget to vote in that MVP vote coming up here in just a second. Stick around.
Hello everyone, Chris Edgeworth here for tonight's winning interview from Restless Leg Syndrome, and I am joined by War Leader. Congratulations on winning this best of 5. How are you feeling?
Thanks so much. I feel so good. Just so good. I'm so happy to be moving on. You know, our goal has always been to make finals, so to stop here would have been no bueno for me, so I'm just over the roof. Over the moon, whatever the expression is.
Both work. Right on. Well, let's talk about how the team was feeling and maybe even yourself as you're coming into these playoffs. What was the team feeling like? What was the preparation like coming into this series?
So, we didn't get as much practice as we'd liked. Well, one of the themes for RLS this season has been just scheduling issues and being able to actually get in scrimmages with different people's work schedules and the like being just difficult to schedule around. But even though we didn't get a lot of that scrimmage time, we got a lot of practice time. Just because of some real life stuff, I don't think we were in the best place mentally coming into this series, but we were confident in ourselves, and ultimately that really mattered as it went down to the wire, and that confidence and just the emotional support that we have together as a team just really pulls through.
Yeah, this is a long-time squad, very limited tinkering on the lineup, so it's good to hear that you folks are able to pull together even after a tough time. Sorry to hear about that as well. Let's talk about this series, though, as it shaped up. It was actually entirely scripted. As we know,
Of course.
I had everything set up where our teams were alternating on the graphic, and just because I'm the script writer here, that's how it turned out. Everyone was it was a blue side angle every game. So, how did you feel about the tempo of this series, where it started off looking good, they even it up, and then as it went?
Yeah, so I mean, going into the series, we were pretty confident. We obviously were the 3rd seed and they're the 6th seed, and so we should feel confident, and we definitely went into the series knowing that we could beat them. And going into the first draft, we got literally exactly everything we wanted, and we kind of rammed it down their throats and won the game, and it was pretty good, pretty cool. Go into the second game, and honestly, the adaptations they made kind of took us by surprise, and I think we could have played it better, but we didn't. I don't know where it went wrong per se. That's something we're gonna learn later, but they definitely did a really good job at shifting that momentum back. I still don't think at that point we were really having any doubts, though. We were just feeling good about ourselves. We knew our game. We knew we were good to go. Come into game 3, we make a new game plan. We get the Volibear again. The champion's just busted. Please ban it against us. Oh wait, no, we didn't get Volibear game 3. We decided to pick. We first picked Irelia. Yeah, Anti had a full ego moment, and he's just like, they have nothing for this, and he locks in the Irelia. And I trust him. that had me spooked, but yeah, and the Lucia Nami part didn't work out so well, but in general, Anti-Gap over in the top lane was just really, really effective. And then we go into game 4. Now, at the end of game 3, our support started to have some latency issues, and there was a brief pause, but we were able to finish the game out with our pretty commanding lead, and we would go into game 4, and we didn't really have a great substitute option for support, and so we decided that we really wanted Demon Girl to be on the Yuumi, something that's a little easier to play despite the latency, and try and make it work out. The idea is to have sort of the Yuumi over the top so Skarner can really easily get in and get a nice suppression onto a key target, but unfortunately the latency was so much that Demon Girl wasn't able to do that. We weren't able to set up in the way we wanted to, even though Anti popped the hell off on that Gwen. Just weren't able to quite get it done that game. So the situation going into game 5 is our support can't play. The latency's too bad, and we're low-key just kind of crapping ourselves, just going well, what do we do? Who's even legal to play? We start calling people that are legal to play on our roster, and the only one that's really available is BBC Red, who we had on the roster mostly as a meme, because we thought it was funny to have BBC Red on RLS. But yeah, Red is around and available. We're like, okay, so what's the scuffed role swapping we can do? We settled on just sending Pengu Soul down to that support role. And yeah, so it was definitely, I was feeling a lot of anxiety going into that game, but I still had that confidence. I know what we're about, and I trust every single member on our team, including BBZ Red, to get it done. And ultimately, I think that made the difference.
That was an exceptional summary of the series from your point of view. I really appreciate that detailed answer. Let me poke you a little bit more for some detail on that final game. So obviously it went back and forth. As I said, we were trading the blue sides after every win. You folks weren't able to get it done on game 4, even though, as you say, Anti was really starting to come online once you were able to actually transition the Yuumi onto Anti and actually get the fights around that strong pick. But it was just too little too late at that point. So you come into game 5. I think you folks had a really strong draft, especially giving Red something he's good at. And just plug and play. Jinx with the Braum is very strong. If you're gonna have to protect her, I like this draft in the final game. And Trundle into the blind pick Sejuani, if I'm remembering correctly, is just a chef's kiss moment. So talk to me about how you folks were feeling in this game, the communication, what it was like, and how it felt, and where you felt like you folks had definitively won the series in your mind.
Sure. So when it comes to the draft, honestly, we were all the sort of game planning was a little bit out the window. So a lot of what we did was more based on feeling. Like, we know that Volibear is always a